Hey everyone, welcome to Princess of Gay. I'm your host Connie, and today we are here with Doom Patrol, Season 2, Episode 6. And it's been quite a while. We haven't reacted to this in almost a year now. It was like last March of 2022, I believe. Um, so yeah, just a couple months shy of a year, and it's wild to think about that it's been that long, but yeah, it has. And if you remember, there was a reason we put it on hold in the first place. Um, we put it on hold because the last episode was, I'm just gonna say it flat out, triggering to me. You guys know that I have a history with depression and suicidal thoughts. And obviously, you guys know that I'm queer, that I'm a pansexual trans woman. So, last episode's commentary with oh my god, his name is, it's been so long, his name is escaping me, the Invisible Man. Um, the commentary with him and how his trying to reconnect with his family and then them betraying him to the government went, it affected me in a very deeply personal and emotional way, because coming out to my family and friends and stuff, like, was very mixed in response. Some people were great with it and were very accepting and welcoming and happy for me, but some people not so much. I lost a lot of friends through that. And like, people have tried to make it seem better by saying like, oh well, if they didn't accept you, then they weren't really your friends anyway. And it's like, that's nice to say, but it still hurts, you know? It still hurts to lose people you considered friends who you enjoyed hanging out with and everything because of this. And I don't regret having come out, but it still hurts. And then family, like the issues I've suffered under through them and all as well. It's ridiculous, honestly. And obviously, like, my situation is not as bad as some people's. There's a lot of people out there who have gone through even worse. There have been people who have been kicked out of their house by their parents. There have been people who have even been killed because of it. And it's horrific, and it makes me scared for what things could potentially lead to for myself and for others. So to see him go through this all, to see him come out to his son and his family, and then to have them betray him so exceptionally like that, it it was hard for me. I took a break because I needed time off after that, because it emotionally hit me like so hard. I could not continue at that time. It was too much. And I needed a break. And then just things ended up leading to another where I just hadn't been able to return until now. Because it's like, once it got into the summer, we started bringing in multiple other shows that I didn't want to wait for, that ended up, like, adding extra um, shows to each slot and everything. We, like, brought in, like, Obi-Wan and Miss Marvel and all of that. And then after the summer was over, we started getting into other things, and then the holidays came, and it's just like everything just worked against me to where it's like I just didn't have time to get to it. And it sucks, because I did really want to get back to this, because I do like this show. Like, not everything's perfect, and yeah, it can get very heavy sometimes to the point where it does trigger me, but it's still a good show. Hell, a great show. It's exceptionally well written. It's very funny. It's greatly acted. Brendan Fraser alone is worth the price of admission. Like, pretty much anything with Brendan Fraser is worth it. I still need to see The Whale, by the way, in that regard. But yeah, it's something I've wanted to get back to for quite a while, and just haven't had the chance. And now that we've passed the holidays, now that I don't have to worry about all that, our time has opened up a lot more, and so I'm going to have the chance, the opportunity, to be able to get back to longer shows like this. Because even though the amount of episodes is short, the runtime is still, double length, basically. And so, I feel like we're okay to start getting back to longer stuff like this. Not necessarily throwing in a bunch during the schedule at once. Of course, that's a little much, but we can start getting into these more. So, yeah, we have a few episodes to go in the season. I think there's 8 or 9. And so we have, like, 3 or 4. I think we have 4 episodes. Because I think that's what I noticed when downloading this. I could check real quick. I actually have the thing up still. Yeah, there's 9 episodes in the season. This is also the shortest season, I noticed. Because according to this, there were 15 in season 1. This season has 9. Season 3 has 10. And then season 4 has 12. Which is split between 2 releases. Which apparently the first half of season 4 is ending, or it just recently ended. But season 4 will pick up with the second half at some point, presumably this year. But either way, I think maybe the reason that this season's cut down to 9 is because it changed networks partway through. Because it was originally on DC Universe, which, did not work out. And then it switched to HBO Max. All the seasons 3 and 4 are completely on HBO Max. And so, yeah, maybe that's the reason that it was shortened, because that ended up happening. I don't know. Or maybe it was just ordered for a shorter season. I mean, that's always possible. But either way, I'm definitely interested to see where this goes. Because we also had a couple other things last time. Baby Doll and one of the others is dead. I don't remember what the other alter that was killed is. But basically, oh my god, what is her name? Excuse me. It's been a while, so a lot of the names are escaping me. Hold on. I have the synopsises for the episodes up here. I could just look that up. I just had to get to season 2 here. Dorothy. So Dorothy had become friends with Baby Doll. They were playing and hanging out. but things kind of went wrong, and I believe Dorothy tried to kill. No. Baby Doll, I think, tried to kill Dorothy. One of the, or no, I think they. I don't know if it was tried to kill, but locked her in like the furnace and everything. But then, like, Baby Doll summoned Flaming Katie, who killed Manny. And this caused Dorothy to, become kind of vengeful in a way, and allowed the Candlemaker to kill both Baby Doll and Flaming Katie in the underground. Which was very intense and shocking and everything. And so that's going to be interesting. We also had some stuff with Vic and Cliff in Detroit. Vic was trying to get Silas, his father, to upgrade Cliff and get him a better design and all, but Silas refused to help because he's an asshole. And Larry, by the way, is the Invisible Man. Again, I have to look up the synopsis here to get the names. But yeah, Rita was kind of with him for a lot of that, with visiting the family. And so yeah, really some interesting but heavy stuff last time. And I'm definitely excited to see where we go with these last 4 episodes. All I can say for sure is that I'm sure it's going to get very heavy again. I don't think we're just going to be done with that, but I'm also hoping that no matter what the case, it just ends up being enjoyable and to some degree fun, because that would help at least cushion the blow. But 4 episodes, we should hopefully be able to get through 4 episodes, because then we could take a break until season 3 and everything. We don't have to get to that right away. But it's like I just need to get myself through 4 episodes and not have a breakdown. But I don't know if it'll be that hard. It's just the last episode was a personal issue and everything, so it hit me a lot harder than I think others would have. So we'll see where it goes. We'll see what happens from there. But I genuinely am excited to get back to this. And so, for the time being, let's see what we have in store. When the screen fades to black, pause this redirect and go to the description below. Follow the link to the reaction, and after you watch it, come back here to the redirect and resume play. Because after it fades to black and then fades back in, everything for that point forward will be my afterthoughts and will contain spoilers to the episode. So, that being said, thank you so much for tuning in, and I will see you at the reaction. And we are back, and we'll begin with spoilers in 3, 2, 1, now. So I'm calling it right now, Miranda's a bad guy. I don't trust her at all. I don't think that she's going to help at all, and I think that eventually Jane and maybe even the others are going to have to rebel against her. I think that Jane just basically saw her and everything, saw her return, and just kind of assumed that she could trust her. But yeah, no, I don't believe that for a second. And speaking of trust, after helping get Dorothy back and, doing a great job at it, Niles betrays Cliff's trust by shooting him off into space. So we know that Niles is not the best person. We understand that he's done some fucked up shit, that he's he's not really that great, all things considered. Um, but at the same time, it's like, what the fuck? Like, even if you don't want to head home right away or you have some other plan or whatever, I don't know. Even if that's the case, why in the ever loving fuck would you do that? Shooting Cliff off into space where he could, like, just. Like, what? Does he plan on picking him up at some point, or is he just abandoning him? Because right now it doesn't look good. I don't know what's going on. I just feel like there would be no reason to do that unless it was just a full-on betrayal. And again, we know Cliff's not the best, or that Niles is not the best guy, so I don't put it past him to do fucked up shit like this. Because even in the episode, like when he's saying, like when Dorothy comes in, the first thing that Niles says to her is not, "I'm glad you're all right, but you must promise to never make a wish ever again." And Cliff looks at that and it's like, that's really sad. And it's like, he wasn't talking about, like, just the state of affairs everything is in. He was talking about the fact that that was Niles' reaction. Like, yes, I get the idea that Dorothy could destroy the world. That her wishes could spell the end for humanity. The idea that that Niles wants to stop that from happening, fair enough. I can give him that. But the fact that that is his first response to getting Dorothy back, to finding her and rescuing her and everything, the fact that he doesn't even start with, "I'm glad you're okay," or something like that, it's like Cliff wasn't the best father. And he's trying to fix that. He wants to fix that. But even he can tell that that's fucked up. I think Niles is too focused on the bigger picture that he puts everything else not just to the side, but like on another planet. To use like space terms and everything because of the episode. He just throws everything else completely out the window because he focuses entirely on just one aspect of things. The big picture is important, without question. But it's nothing if you can't take care of other stuff too. The big picture is important, but you also need to focus on the small stuff. The stuff that is inconsequential to the world, but important to you. And I don't think Niles understands that. I don't think Niles really gets the idea of just caring about someone, of just letting that be the focus. And that's an issue here. It causes him to turn cold towards people he's supposed to love, and in a way treat them as tools rather than people. And I do believe he loves his daughter. I do believe he loves Dorothy very much. But he focuses so much on the bigger picture that, again, he doesn't really see her for who she is as much as he sees her as just a possible tool for Armageddon that he has to keep under control. And that's really fucked up. And Cliff can see that Dorothy deserves better. And that her father's treatment of her, let's be honest, is why she's in these kinds of positions in the first place. Meanwhile, Rita goes out for a play, for a local production. She believes it's to the classic play Our Town, but while it shares the same name, it's about the specific town instead, and the events that we saw in season 1 of Rita losing control in her blob form. And so this is obviously a lot for her to handle. And during this, she meets this other actress who's auditioning specifically for the role of playing Rita in it, although they don't know her name, obviously, for the production, not film. But they start talking. She's trying to give advice to try and make the performance of this woman more human. And this girl, like I did all this research, and I'm sorry, I thought I was trying to be more human here, and like she breaks down her thoughts on the character, quote unquote, of Rita and everything, and gets pretty much everything spot on. Until the very last thing. About what her true purpose is and everything, and then just kind of goes off in the complete opposite direction of everything she had been saying up until that point. And so it's like, and Rita just kind of like is taken aback by it. It's like, well, I've got my first nemesis. And it's like, okay, that was a thing. Rita having to deal with this, and it's like, I don't know, I don't know how she could deal with that. Honestly, maybe she shouldn't be in the play. Just saying. Try to find something else. Larry, meanwhile, comes back from everything that happened last time and has to deal with these astronauts who have come back after decades and decades in space, but somehow have not aged. They had worked with Niles, and they were the ones who were kind of leading into what became of Larry's flight and everything. Their mission is what basically caused Larry to become radioactive and inhabited by the negative spirit. We soon find out that the woman of the team also has a negative spirit, and that within 5 years up there, she learned to completely master and control it. Not like control in terms of like, you're mine, I control you, but in terms of they are working so in harmony and sync together that they are one at this point, practically speaking. And so Larry is obviously very taken aback by this and very upset that she mastered in 5 years, and he has not mastered it at all in a lot longer. And he's kind of down about that. But through talking to her, he realizes that he can work through things with his issues with his family and everything. He can start to work through things, and by the end he makes a plan not to cut them off, but to try as hard as he can to make amends with them. Which I don't think is the best decision. Like, I understand why he wants to, but I really think that's a bad idea, all things considered. And just super dangerous, too. But we also find out the other two astronauts died during their time in space a long time ago, and that their bodies had been inhabited by this alien fungus that basically just kept them going on this kind of like bland, basic personality and the woman and her spirit came to realize that coming to Earth would kill off the fungus due to the atmosphere and everything. And so they came to bury their friends, to give them one last, one final death. Unfortunately, we also did see that she has gotten a little cold, it seems, since the spirit since she and the spirit became one. As during the burial, she showed no interest in sharing any kind of words or showing emotion at all, really. And as I said, it's probably because she has already said her goodbyes by this point. She's basically been living with their corpses in space for a long time. And at this point, there's really nothing more she can say. No more emotion she can squeeze out. She's probably cried for them, probably mourned them plenty in the past, and at this point it's like it's already been all said. It's already been all done. There's nothing left. And I get that. It's really sad though. And we can see that Larry doesn't want to become like that. And I'm wondering if he's worried that specifically if he does fully integrate with his negative spirit, if he will become like that. I don't know. While all this is going on, Jane and the others in the underground are just trying to bury everyone, and as I said, Jane is against it. She's trying to figure out another way, but they eventually get to the well, and she gives this nice speech about it and all. She like seems to almost maybe be getting through to them until Miranda jumps out of the well, and it's like, again, I do not trust her at all. I think she's a bad guy. I don't even entirely know if this is Miranda. Like, it might not even technically be Miranda. It might be some kind of trick. I don't know. Either way, I don't trust it. I think that this is going to end poorly. We'll see how it goes. It's just, it's a lot. And of course we have Vic as well, finding out that the tech that was in his girlfriend and everything for the Black Ops stuff was made by Star Labs and Calder as well. So it's like, yeah. And his father's just kind of like pushing it off to the side, like laughing it off and not taking anything seriously because his father's kind of a shitbag. And Calder, Niles isn't going back at the moment, so I don't think Vic can really get in contact with him right now. Shit's going down. And it's not exactly great to find that stuff out. But we have 3 episodes left in this season, and I feel like we're going to really start going into the meat of where this season's going to end. I don't know if the Candlemaker, whatever his name is going to be the main final villain. I would assume so. But after this situation, I don't know what else is going to push Dorothy into summoning him. Like, what else is going to happen here? I genuinely don't know. But this was a pretty wild return. And like I said before, Season 1 was a lot goofier and everything. It was still introducing the characters, and there was still some emotional stuff, but Season 2 focuses, I feel, more on the heaviness and the emotion and everything, and the character depth and development. While Season 1 was trying to more like just introduce us to things, introduce us to the humor. While Season 2 has some of that humor, it doesn't go as far with it, I feel. It's a lot more serious than season 1 was. And that's fine, but at the same time, it also makes it harder to sit through, at least for me. Just because of, the personal stuff, but also even just a lot of the heaviness is just, it's a lot to handle, even if it's something I can't connect to personally. So, it's just, it's a show that's tricky for me. I really like it, but it's really hard to get through at times. So I don't know how often we'll get to these. These might be like less often than other shows we react to, but we're still going to try to get through the entire rest of the season at least for now, and then come back for season 3 later down the road. But yeah, I don't know how often we're going to get to these episodes. It might be once a week, might be every other week or whatnot. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. But for the time being, let me know in the comments below, what did you think of this episode of Doom Patrol Season 2? And for now, I'm Connie and I'm signing off. See y'all next time.